Friends, neighbors, and pals, it's Tony, and welcome back to Tony's Rhinestone Room, brought to you by the Vegas Voice, the fabulous people at Vegas Voice. And if you haven't gotten your latest copy of the Vegas Voice, please do so, or you can go to thevegasvoice.net, and you can look at all the information right there. It's all up on the website, because that's what we are. We're modern today, and we do everything. We know how to work the phones. We know how to work the computers. Not all of us, but we try, right? Welcome back to the Rhinestone Room. I'm so excited to be with you here today, and I'm so excited to have this opportunity with a very dear friend of mine who I consider family, and her name is Miss Jan Jewett.
Thank you.
And I want to welcome you to the Rhinestone Room, finally, to get you here so we could chat and have some laughs. And I want to talk about so many things, and we only have so many time. We only have so much time. But Jan, for those of you who have come to see me in my shows, Jan is responsible for all of my stage outfits. She does all the rhinestoning and helps me pick out the colors and so forth. And she's been doing it for
a long time.
Since
the 90s, when you were a headliner at Caesars.
That's right. That's a long time ago. And so she helps me with all that, and we have so much fun putting outfits together and so forth. And I can't thank you enough. And everybody asks me all the time, like, who does all this? And I said, Jan Jewett does it for me. But you're basically retired from all that. I mean, she only does it for me.
Yes,
so.
that's about it, because I only do special clients. I spent a career as a costumer on the Strip and did most of the big shows. Bette Midler's show. Spent a lot of time with Cher, with Prince, with Donnie Marie. It goes on and on. But my favorite client in the whole world is Tony. Because Tony understands that it's the clothing, the appeal, the excitement, waiting for the next one is very much like a very, very famous entertainer that we probably all know, which is, he is the current Liberace.
Well, that's a compliment. That's a huge compliment. But I come from the old school, and both of us come from the old school of, once you walk out onto the stage, that is the first impression you're giving to the audience. And that's what they're taking away. And so immediately, subconsciously, when you walk on stage, when they see you walk out and you look, and hopefully you look like $1 million, subconsciously the audience goes, I better watch this. Because otherwise they'll just sit back and just go, okay, put on a show. But when you come out looking like a brilliant peacock, right? Rhinestones and glitter and sequins, all of a sudden people just kind of take notice. Now, there's a tasteful way of doing that.
There is.
And that's where you and I have a lot in common, because we want to do it tastefully. We want it to shine. We want it to bring attention, but I don't want it to look like a mess. There's a cheap mess.
Tony's husband has a lovely phrase that I use all the time to kind of rib him a bit.
Yeah.
I'll say, oh, come down, the new one is finished. I just finished another one. And I'll say, Scott, it is not gaudy.
Right.
Because Scott thinks 4 rhinestones perhaps crosses over to gaudy land.
Right. Well, isn't it funny that he allowed me to name our home Rhinestone Manor when, because rhinestones are, the center of my life. And so we name I know it's silly. Not everybody names our home. I get that. But we named our house Rhinestone Manor because my production company is Rhinestone Entertainment. This book is a book.
Now you know my connection to Liberace.
That's right.
Got a little past here.
This is Jan's connection to Mr. Liberace, who all of us love and adore and miss greatly, and really was the king of bling when nobody else was. When nobody else was doing it, he inspired people like Mr. Presley and others in show business back in the day. He was the man.
Forerunner of everybody that we think of today, from Lady Gaga to Elvis. He was the one who first put Elvis in a gold lame jacket.
Exactly. This book was on the New York
Times
Times best.
Top 100.
Right.
But that was in nonfiction. Y'all, nonfiction's a lot easier to get there than fiction.
Yeah.
And Forbes named us one of the top 10 must-reads about Las Vegas. And it's been a lovely journey. I did this with my very best friend, who we did a show in Palm Springs together for 7 years, and opened a lot of doors. And we have done a lot of really fun things because of this, and continue to. So
it's an amazing book. It's an amazing, but this is definitely a what do you call it? Coffee table
book.
Coffee table book, because the pictures in here are just amazing. It's just pages and pages of magnificent pictures of Liberace's costumes. And the whole book is about his costumes. It's not about Mr. Liberace himself per se, or his career, but it's about his costumes,
and
correct?
his designers.
And
it's
his
divided
designers.
by designer. So as you go through the different eras with him, from the very first to the last, when we only have one designer that is still with us. When Connie and I started the book, we had 4. So we knew we had a small window.
Yeah.
So we were lucky enough to do that.
And not many people are still doing this type of work. And in fact, the only person that I can think of is Bob Mackey, right? Who's still with us, who made all of Carol Burnett's costumes for her show, Cher's costumes for the Sonny and Cher show, and so forth, and also helped us with Jubilee. I think it was over at Ballet's.
He did. I'll tell you a fun fact about Bob Mackey, because I'm writing another book right now.
Yeah.
So I'm in a little Marilyn Monroe phase. So Bob was very young, and it was one of his very first jobs, and he worked for Jean Louis, who was credited as the designer for Marilyn's Happy Birthday, Mr. President dress, that dress that Kim Kardashian wore and all of that. However, Bob Mackey was the one who did all the renderings.
Really?
Really.
Wow. So he came up with the concept. He's the one
Basically, yes.
Yeah, he came up with the concept.
Because that's who he worked for.
Yeah,
and
amazing.
That is who gets all of it.
Yeah.
So just a little Bob Mackey story.
Yeah, amazing. If you want, go to TonyAries.com. Even if you don't want, go to TonyAries.com. There are pictures of Jan's handiwork on my website of all of my stage, not all of my stage costuming, but a lot. Go to TonyAries.com and see her handiwork. It's amazing. This book is a must-have for anybody who lives in Las Vegas and anybody who doesn't. This is Las Vegas.
It is.
This is a history of Las Vegas.
Liberace was all first everything in Las Vegas. First residency, first everything. He started it all, y'all.
Yeah. Jan Jewett, ladies and gentlemen, and Connie Furr are the authors of this magnificent book. You can go to Amazon. You can go to your favorite book store.
Yeah,
is that what they call
Noble.
them? Yeah, I don't read. So I admit it. I'm pushing a book that I don't read. But I love all the pictures. You know how I'm not a reader. I don't read well. I'm not a good reader. I've never read. I'm just not smart. And smart people,
lots of pictures.
Lots of pictures. That's what I love about it.
Connie photographed every single solitary one of these. She took a sabbatical from the university, lived with me for a year, and she did all of these.
Incredible. So please get it. It's called Extravaganza, and it's done by Jan Jewett and Connie Furr. Thank you so very much, honey. I want to have you back because I should have, and I thought about bringing my shirts, some of my shirts and stage costuming that she's done, and I thought, well, they can probably superimpose that in the video if I send them pictures.
All of those fun videos when we were so bored during COVID.
Yeah, we did. That's right.
Oh my God, we shot videos. We'd go by the pool and lay everything out and play and talk.
We had nothing else to do except admire my clothes. During the shutdown.
We did a bunch of them.
It's so funny. Anyway, go get the book, Extravaganza, Liberace's Extravaganza. Ladies and gentlemen, again, my very, very dear friend and my family member, Miss Jan Jewett. Thank you so much for coming on the Rhinestone Room. We'll do it again so we can talk a little bit more about it and other stuff that you're doing, because she's an amazing woman. She really is. She's done it all. She's just extremely talented. Please go to TonyAries.com. I have some wonderful shows coming up that you must see, and they're fantastic shows because I was told they are. I just know that they're going to be fantastic. Go and see me at TonyAries.com. This is Tony Aries for the Rhinestone Room from the Vegas Voice. Thank you so very much, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome, baby.